People are in their beliefs, right? A lot of people believe very strongly about topics like racism and even wearing a mask, right? Look at all the controversy over wearing a mask right now. So just remember that many of these topics are going to put us on our belief quadrant. If it's a belief that you differ from, remember that your kind of goal is to ask questions that move people toward the thinking, right? That's kind of our goal, is to get people all around. Okay.
I had a kind of a connection to the not my mascot thing. Is that what it's called? Because
Sure.
My old elementary school, it was called the Braves, and our mascot was a Native American. And at the time when I was going there, because I was really little, like 6 to 7, I didn't think anything of it. But now looking back, I think it's messed up that we had an actual human as a mascot.
Questioned it until like going to middle school and meeting other people and talking about like how that's cultural appropriation to have, like, because I never really thought about it other than like black issues, but with
Sure.
like the sports team, like the Redskins and all that, like that's 100% inappropriate.
I'm glad the whole like not your mascot thing was brought to people's attention, because I didn't even know that like that as a mascot could be like cultural appropriation and just like not appropriate to use as a mascot. So I'm glad that people are getting educated on that, because a lot of people just don't know, and I was one of those people. So
I've learned so much about Native American culture and the erasure of their culture since moving to Lawrence. Because like Lance said, it was something that was not part of my culture. I didn't know anybody who was Native American growing up, or like in Colorado, that I knew of, right? That I knew was Native American or that identified themselves as such. So
does it put you in an acting, thinking, believing, or feeling space? You can put numbers if you want, right on your compass or right on your table.
Thinking and believing. I'm not sure that's what they do.
You're not sure that's what they wore.
I am part Native American myself, so that kind of gave me like some pride. But I was also kind of skeptical about the painting, because I was like, this probably isn't true, because they were just basing it off the event they'd heard of
Okay.
all like their life basically.
Stella.
I'm either like a believing or a thinking because, but mostly thinking because I'm just like processing because that.
That's a lot of information. So when we first learned about the first Thanksgiving and they use the general term Native Americans, as Abby says, if they don't specify, somebody's story gets completely ignored.
The kids who were taught this their whole lives and thought it was really true, then come here and learn about this and say it's not true, don't believe in any of the stuff that we learned, and then go through living their life thinking that the stories they learned were true.
Do you think that's the point of this activity?
Yes.
What's the point? So do you think the point of the activity is to leave people upset about what they've learned, or
No.
what do you think a point of the activity is?
So to know the truth.
Okay.
To know what happened.
Okay, to know the truth and know exactly what happened. So Gabriel, when you ask that question, why don't we know the true story? Well, we have to think about, well, who was telling the story?
That when you have other people that have different views from you, you can see things in a much different light than they do or someone else. So I believe that like different cultures should be represented within a bigger group of some type of topic or structure. And, yeah.
Well, I think this conversation is really like good to hear from like First Salt, because I don't know, you guys know like the term, but like LeBron kind of, a basketball player kind of coined this term like more than an athlete. So like, especially with like African American boys and girls, they're always told that you're either going to be an entertainer or you're going to play a sport, and that's just like another racial bias we're trying to like fight, even Salt. And this conversation helps us a lot, and it helps encourage kids, younger like freshmen, sophomores, that we can be like good on the court, but we can also be like, even like better in the classroom and like just around our community. So.